Okay, I think we've got everyone in here. So good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us this morning as we talk about the IndyGo application. My name is Colin Walker. I'm the product director here at IndySoft, and I'm really glad that you took some time out of your busy day to learn about this application that we're really excited about. We have a very straightforward agenda today. I'm going to kick us off here with a few words on answering the question, what is IndyGo? I am then going to hand things over to Henry Arth, the product manager of IndyGo, and he's going to roll up his sleeves and get hands-on with some demos. So we're going to do the mobile workflow demos, our kiosk workflow demos. We're then going to invite Mitch Jones to join in, and he will address some of the system requirements and also talk about how you can get started with IndyGo. And along the way, as we're talking, please use the question feature within Zoom to enter any questions you have. We will be addressing a number of those in line directly with you. And then if there are some larger questions, we might bring those up at the end and Mitch can address those. So why don't we get started? So IndyGo, one of the things that we're really thankful for here at IndySoft is all of you have been so great with inviting us to tag along in a day in your work life. And so over the years, we've noticed really a couple of themes that stand behind IndyGo. One of the themes is everyone is incredibly busy. We all have more work in a day than we have time, it seems. We've noticed that you are all up on your feet, whether it's out in your facilities, diagnosing problems, troubleshooting issues, getting to root cause. It's a very on your feet, on the go type roles that our customers have. And one of the problems that we noticed over the years is that oftentimes there's this out in the facility or out in the laboratory and then back to your workstation, logging into IndySoft to maintain that very tight connection between your management system and the facts on the ground. And so what we wanted to do with IndyGo is to make an interface that allows you to stay to keep your management system tightly correlated and have the events and all the digital side of things match the facts on the ground. And so IndyGo provides a very simple interface. It's very streamlined, just very focused on quickly looking up assets, and Henry will cover the myriad of ways that you can do that to identify, look up assets. We then provide a configurable set of actions that you can take, so key transactions on those assets. And then along the way, it provides flexible authentication options, so you can have more users performing actions on assets and logging transactions than ever before. The overall goal of IndyGo is to provide the power of the full IndySoft application to everyone on the go within their facilities. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Henry, and Henry is going to go through some demos. So Henry, over to you.
Thanks, Colin. Like I said, my name is Henry Arth. I am the product owner of the IndyGo application and a product manager for IndySoft Corporation, and I directly oversaw the development for the IndyGo mobile application and kiosk interface. And so I'm going to walk you through both of those workflows, starting with the mobile side. The mobile side, today I'm going to show you everything on a Chainway C66. It's got all of the different kind of hardware use cases that are involved here. So this front piece is a circular passive RFID antenna that can charge up these tags that might be out and around you. We're not going to get too far into RFID, but you're really looking at up to 20, 25 feet to be able to detect a tag in a room without any interference. This device also has a native barcode scanner that you can use, so we're going to go over that. And then it's got BLE capabilities just like any smartphone. And I'm going to show you particularly these IndySoft timer tags, which light up when they become due, and you can also light them up if you have them on this device. And I'm going to show you the latter use case there. So I'm going to share with you the Visor app. So this is the best way to show you what's happening real time on my phone on my device. and then we can kind of walk you through this. So in this first workflow, let's pretend I am a custodian who picks up equipment and delivers it to someone else. Maybe that's on a truck, maybe that's just within a facility, but really what we're talking about is evidence that this device has been picked up, that somebody left with it, and that they are going to go deliver it, and when they delivered it and who they deliver it to. So I can press my equipment pickup event or action here. And you notice for this device, I have my barcode selected in the upper left-hand corner. That means I'm in barcode mode. And when I scan, I can scan. So this first screen basically says, what are we picking up? And so you set up your QR codes and you can quickly scan through the barcodes, right? Really quickly. The information there shows you the due date. It also shows you the device ID and a basic description on the screen. From here, all I'm doing is picking this up, and it already knows who I am because I signed in. I press finish. That information is updated instantaneously to the database, and any of these actions that are on this screen are very much configurable and can update assets in any way to suit your workflow. Okay. The equipment delivery, the completion of that, nothing really too much to show here. I'm delivering these 4 pieces of equipment, and maybe you have a next step to say, who did you deliver it to? And we delivered it to James Quick, and we quickly just kind of move on and we've delivered it, right? So barcode use case, simple transactions moving from place to place. So in this next one, I'm going to go and show you the update location feature. The update location feature could be used with barcoding. Again, anything could be. You don't even have to have barcoding. Actually, you can just search in an event or an action. But when I go to the update location, we're instead going to say, all right, the use case is I walk into a room. I tell the application what room I'm in, and then I begin scanning to update what is in the area around me. So this is going to be for our passive RFID flow. So if you're using RAIN RFID technology. So from this first screen, I can actually scan the location. I don't even have to find it. So if you're in a room and you had a QR code describing where it was in the new location tree, then you don't really have to have that person do anything else. Then we can go to add equipment. From this screen, I can actually change to RFID high. Okay. And so that puts me in the mode, and that's basically going to activate this when I press the trigger. And so I start scanning around the room. I only have a couple of assets, but you can see I just found both of them. A couple of other notes about this kind of option is that I can do things like use the proximity wheel. So when I start scanning, it'll actually tell me how much the device is actually charged up, the scanner. So you're not going to get more than 20 feet from this usually, and this can help a little bit, but it's not the primary use case. It's really mostly just a little bit of a helpful advantage when you're actually trying to find the piece of equipment that's around you. So once the screen is done, I can press finish, and I've updated the equipment. So I've scanned all around the room. Passive RFID can pick up hundreds of tags in seconds if they are in plain sight. So really effective use case there. After that, now I can show you the final piece here, and that is the actual pull for calibration type of action. Pull for calibration actually has a filter when you select equipment that filters only to look in the room. So if you're using the passive RFID tags or the BLE tags, it will only pick up items which are coming due or are past due, and it won't try to show you anything else. So you can set those filters behind the scenes, right? And so I'm going to show you the BLE piece and what that kind of does with these IndySoft tags, the timer tags. So I can actually press the BLE scan button, and that BLE scan button is going to look around the room, and it's going to tell me all of the assets which it's picking up, which are coming due or are past due. And furthermore, if they're in plain sight and you want to add them, you can do that. So I'll just add this EC 1100. I'll add that to the event. Right? So it adds it there. I saw that one, but oh, what was this other one here? I can't see this, right? That kind of use case. So I press this again, and you'll notice that we're actually excluding the item that we added previously. So you're not getting confused about what you're looking at because it's already been added to the action. So now I can actually drill into this EC 1000. And as we connect to the tag, we now have the option to light it on. So now if you're in a room, you have a giant beacon right here lighting up on the device, and you can go and quickly find it. Now, these are about 1 3/8 inches by 1 inch. And the other thing, again, I want to repeat about this is not only do you have this kind of functionality where you can light up the tag manually when you're in a room and detect everything that's around you, but you can have it actually set with a timer. So this is actually IndySoft specific technology. You won't find it anywhere else. If you have a due date that is a year, you can say, I need this thing to light up 7 days in advance, and every 20 seconds it should blink. So when somebody picks up that torque wrench or picks up whatever they need to be using, and it's lighting up red, that is an indication to them, oh, this thing's coming due. It is actually another way to let your people proactively know that that item needs to be serviced. So I can also add the asset from this screen, and it automatically turns off that light once I do that so we don't waste the battery. And then I can press finish there. So yeah, that's the mobile app. The only other piece you really need to know about is the search screen. It does almost everything that that other screen does. I'm in this RFID high mode. I can find items around me. I can continue to use these locate options. This is also where you can pair assets with those tags or unpair assets with those tags. And furthermore, you can take equipment pictures, right? So that camera, if you have camera access, at least you can do that. You can pull up larger pictures of the device in general as well. Cool. So that's most of the mobile workflow. And we're going to now move over to our kiosk workflow. So the kiosk workflow differs. It might be obvious, but let's just say it. It's a stationary device with a large screen, ATM-like interface, right? Any type of user can walk up to it. And what we really focused on here was the kiosk application for a Windows device with a touch screen. Okay, so you can technically use kiosk mode with an Android or with an iPad, but one of the advantages that we have on the Windows side is a myriad of login options when you scan in. So for example, in this demo, I'm going to show you, this is my IndySoft corporate headquarters key fob. I was actually able to set it up in the system, and now I can log into the system using this. We also have things like guest mode, where you can look up the latest calibration certificate and critical asset information without having a username or password. So it opens up IndySoft to anybody on the shop floor for various use cases that they might have along the way. And that's particularly what I'm excited about here. So let's go ahead, and I need to, one moment, I need to change over out to this other screen, Windows kiosk interface. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the login options. So these can actually be hidden or exposed for any use case, but I went ahead and showed you all three here just for the purposes of that. So let's start with the easiest use case. I've got a kiosk, and I need to be able to have anybody walk up to it and look up asset information about when something is coming due, look up the most recent calibration certificate, anything like that. So what I can do is touch the screen, press sign in as guest. Now this has a specific username and password encrypted and stored behind the scenes. And it's basically taking whatever user that you have there and any restrictions to equipment. So if you need this to actually restrict companies, you can do that within the software. And so you'll notice at the top though, you've only got a search screen and a settings screen. The settings screen doesn't do too much because you're at an ATM interface, right? You don't, all you have is really a place to enter customer feedback and things like that if you really need to. So once you come up to this, you can use any old barcode wedge scanner. This one is a Bluetooth scanner right now. And I can actually just scan any of these. Let's do that torque wrench 790. And I can pull this up on the screen. I can view the larger picture of the asset. I can have this left-hand panel show with any device information that I really want to see. Just so you know, that is a configurable part on that left-hand side of the screen. So you can show the location, you can show the department, you can show tracking statuses. Not every field in the database, but all the really kind of important ones that describe important use cases along the way. So you'll notice that there's no view certificate button here. That's because this item actually doesn't have a certificate. I believe this one does. And so I can scan in there, and you'll notice that, oh, well, this is actually hiding it a little bit because of my my zoom here. So I'll just move that out of the way. And you can see view certificate. I can pop that open. I can zoom in. If it's multiple pages, I can go through it and look at everything here that I need to see, maybe show it to an auditor if I really need to along the way. So that's always going to show you your most recent certificate that's not pending any document sign-offs, okay? So after that, pretty easy, simple use case there, out on the floor. Let's go ahead and now move to a little bit of a different scenario. I'm going to take my badge here and I'm going to scan it against. This is actually another barcode wedge device. This is the Wave ID from RFID EAS. Okay, so this can be programmed with low frequency, with high frequency RFID tags. They're not the same tags as what I was talking about previously, because that's a slightly different technology. This is more like for these fobs where you have to get really close to it. So I'm going to go ahead and scan this. I just scanned it, and it's going to go ahead and log me in, and I'm taken into the action screen, right? One note about this scan-in is that you don't actually have to be a user in IndySoft. You just need to have an employee record. So you don't have to manage anybody's password. You can give a common user login, and it takes them right in. So at this workstation, I've got three options. Let's start with the basic check-in, check-out, right? Simple user interface, okay? So the first thing that we're going to show is the check-in style event. And I've got a barcode scanner here. So I can come up and just automatically scan things, and they'll show up in here, as you can see. And I'll just keep scanning those items for the check-in event, and they get added, okay? I can remove them afterwards if I accidentally scan the wrong thing. But as you can see, super easy to do, and I press finish. Now, in the kiosk mode, the cool thing is we're always looking, trying to detect inactivity, right? So like an ATM, I perform a transaction. A lot of times it's only going to be one transaction, so it's going to offer to log you out, or you can continue in the application. And if you don't respond for a period of time, it's just going to automatically log you out. So I'm going to go ahead and continue for the purposes of this demo. And then we can run to a checkout event, which is really about the same thing. I can scan the items for checkout. And if something shouldn't be checked out, we now block against it. You can see it on the screen right there. So we've got some items that are overdue or coming due, as opposed to some that we can actually add that are able to be checked out based upon the rules that we set behind the scenes. So I can go to the next screen, and maybe in this you also say, well, this is the kiosk. You can set the kiosk location locally, so it always knows where it is. So you're always updating to the appropriate location without any user input. And then you can also select where this is going. So maybe I'm saying this goes to shelf 2. Again, this is up to you, all of these options, just along the way. The final kind of workflow here would be for maybe a kiosk maintenance request. So you've got a kiosk, somebody walks up to it, they scan in, and all they're doing is adding equipment and giving a quick note saying what is maybe wrong with the device. And then behind the scenes, all we're going to do is update or flag a tracking status or a field so that your IndySoft users or your lab team can actually field that and take action against it quickly. So that's most of the presentation today for the mobile and the kiosk workflow. And now I'm going to pass it over to Mitch. He's going to really quickly go over system requirements, as well as talk to you about getting started. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Henry. That was fantastic. Henry, Colin, and the entire IndySoft development team and the customers that helped us with this, we super appreciate that. This is a fantastic product, and we really think it's going to be super beneficial for customers, whether it's setting up a kiosk and or having a mobile device out there on their shop floors. We're really expecting a lot of efficiency gains. In terms of system requirements, it's not a lot, actually. Our team has made this where it's really agnostic. Any device you got, whether it's Windows, iOS, Android, this application will run. The requirement we do have is we do need you to be on version 14 of IndySoft or later. But truthfully, that's the main requirement. Outside of that, just any device that you have, you'll be able to run the IndyGo application. That third kind of tile here is the RFID and barcode support. That's our Zebra and Chainway mobile handheld devices that we offer. And those actually do run the Android operating system as well. So the next thing up is when is IndyGo available? Well, the answer is actually it's available right now. Our team has worked so hard to get this released, documented, published in the Google Play Store and on the App Store on the iOS side. So this is available. The IndyGo application does require a license. So if you don't have any of those already or currently, you'll need to reach out to myself or Chris Shaw or one of our account or sales representatives to get that going. Let's see here. So in terms of questions, we did have a couple questions come in that I do want to kind of cover those. The first one is is what type of actions can be set up. And I know Henry gave us some examples in the video, but in the IndyGo application, think of it in the IndySoft terms as almost any event, non-calibration, non-repair, non-PM, something like a status change, something like a department change, a location change, a custody change. And every customer is a little bit different. Some of our customers, they assign equipment to an individual person, so therefore they're going to be using potentially IndyGo to transfer tools from one owner to another owner. Other customers may do it where they've got a tool out there on the shop floor and we see that it's decommissioned and we need to tag it out. We might have a tag out event or something like that. All those types of things can be set up in the IndyGo application. Some other questions came in around licensing. The licensing on IndyGo, it is a per device license. So you'll actually register the device itself is how that will actually work. Let me see if there's any other questions that have come in. I don't see any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it brief for everyone because I know everyone's busy and it's a short week for everyone as well. So if there are no other questions, I certainly appreciate everyone joining today. We certainly appreciate you all as customers, and we really hope this application will help gain some efficiencies for you. And thank you and have a great day. Oh, and I lied. I got one more thing. For anybody who is registered, we will be sending out a link to the video of this as well. So just in case you want to share this with some other colleagues, or if you want to go back and review this as well. So our marketing team will be getting a link out and a video out to everyone. Okay, I'm done now. Thank you all. I hope you have a fantastic week, and thank you all for being valued IndySoft customers. Thank you.